So, hi friends, now in this class I will discuss the Surrogacy Regulation Act of 2021. Surrogacy Regulation Act 2021. Recently it was passed by the Rajya Sabha, and now I will discuss what is a surrogacy. What is a surrogacy? See, surrogacy means a woman, because of some problem, and nowadays it is not happening just because woman is having a problem, because we have started a new thing called a passion surrogacy, but passion surrogacy is not acceptable and a commercial surrogacy is also not acceptable, but I will come to that what are they. So, surrogacy means the child is not growing in the womb of a mother, but it is growing in a womb of another woman, and when it comes to the cells maybe belongs to the parent, may not be belong to the parent. Suppose a male and female is there, now the baby of male and this female is growing inside the womb of another woman, and she is carrying that baby for this couple because she is not interested in carrying or she is unable to. And when I say she is not interested, that means they don't want to carry the baby for 9 months, and that has happened, but now we don't want to allow those things. I will come to that regulation later. But if she is unable to carry because of one or other problem, then the another woman will carry and give it to these people after 9 months or after conceiving the child. And when it comes to the cells, yes, if the oocyte of a woman, oocyte of this mother, if it is appropriate, they can use it, or otherwise they can use another oocyte, maybe belongs to this woman, may not be belongs to this woman, or it can be belongs to the other. You need to follow proper ART process to get that oocyte, but the main thing in surrogacy is the womb is different, whereas in case of other assisted reproductive technologies, the womb is again the same mother, but the fertilization process done outside the womb. That is the difference between the ART and this surrogacy, and surrogacy is part of one of the ART. Surrogacy is part of one of the ART, and here you have to place only embryo into inside this woman, and this embryo process must be happened in a laboratory. That means this oocyte and sperm cell, that whatever the sending of sperm cell into the oocyte must happen in lab, and then that embryo will be placed inside the womb of a carrier, and this she will act like a surrogate mother, and this will be she will carry that baby for 9 months, and after then it will be returned to that parents. So, this is surrogacy. Now, the point is, India has become a commercial hub of a surrogacy, because lot of people both in India and outside India, if they don't want to conceive the child or if they don't want to carry the baby, now simply they are coming to India, because in India there are many poor women are there, and this poor women, if you pay some meager amount, then they can carry the baby for 9 months, and after that they will give it to you, and you can take your child to your home, whether it is an Indian or foreigner. And but the problem is this commercial exploitation of the women, because they are poor, they need money, that is the reason why they are coming to do all these activities. But sometimes it will affect the life of the surrogate mother, that means the one who is carrying the baby, because they cannot carry many children. They cannot go on conceiving children. It's not appropriate. It has lot of effects on the health of a mother. So, that is the reason why this exploitation of the woman should be stopped. should be stopped, and that is happening in this country. That is the reason why regulations have already came in the year 2005, where ICMR has come up with some sort of regulation to stop this surrogacy related practices and other this assisted reproductive technology practices. In the year 2008 they have come up with a bill, but they are unable to place this bill in the parliament. But after that the government has brought a bill in the year 2014 and the bill in the year 2016, and again now they have brought it in the 2019. That bill was passed in the Lok Sabha. They have sent it to the parliament departmental standing related committee in Lok Sabha, but when the bill comes to the Rajya Sabha has sent it to the select committee, and after select committee's report, now it has passed by both the houses of parliament. So this is somewhat the history of this surrogacy regulation bill in our country. Now I'll give some of the conditions with respect to this surrogacy. First one is, under this particular act we are prohibiting commercial surrogacy. So commercial surrogacy is prohibited. Only altruistic surrogacy is accepted. Altruistic surrogacy, that means she is not here to, that means the woman is not conceiving the children or the baby because she need money. It should not be the case like that. But okay, the parents, they are suffering, they have some problem, they are unable to conceive the child. That is the reason why they are using this technique. So that's the only thing. So here no money will be given to this surrogate mother. So that means the one who is carrying the child or a baby don't get any monetary compensation, but they will give some two different compensation, like medical and prescribed allowances. So medical allowances plus prescribed allowances. So what is this medical allowances and prescribed allowances? Why it's not considered as a monetary thing? Because if you say it as a monetary thing, then they can demand and you can bargain on that. But this process is not to commercialize. This is only an altruistic thing, but in that, when a woman is involved in the surrogate process, definitely she need to take some good amount of food, and she need to take care about her health, and she need to go for the health checkups and everything. Further, the medical expenses must be given to that woman, and also during this pregnancy process she may not do her own work, and she may lose some sort of wages, and she may lose employment. That is the reason why some other prescribed compensatory amount will be given to that, but it's not something like a monetary deal, like if you conceive the baby I'll give some 2 lakh rupees or 3 lakh. It should not be like that. So that commercialization is completely prohibited. Only altruistic surrogacy is accepted. Next, second one is the certificate of essentiality, and the certificate of eligibility is very, very important. That means if anyone want to take this process, no, you cannot. You can't take if you want to. The only way you can get the benefit of this surrogacy is you have to prove the benefit of essentiality and the benefit of eligibility. That means now you have to prove yourself that you are, I'll come to that conditions again. You are unable to conceive the child because you have some health problem, and if you are able to prove that, then only you can get the benefit of this surrogacy. Otherwise you can't. Simply I don't want to carry a baby, I will go for a surrogacy. That is not acceptable. So you have to provide a certificate of a proven infertility, of any one of the couple or both the couple. So, the infertility certificate of either male or female or both the people you have to submit. You have to submit. Then only you can get the eligibility to get the service of surrogacy. Next point is, if you are having already a surviving child, either you got it biologically or through this adoption process. So, whatever it may be, but you cannot. So, if you have already having a child, whether he or she is a biological child or through an adoption, you are not supposed to get the you don't get the benefit of this surrogacy. Next, if you have a child, but if he is physically and mentally challenged and suffering from life threatening disorders and there is a fatal illness with no permanent cure, if you able to show that, then you can get the benefit of this. So, the point is, it's not something like earlier, if they want baby they can come to India because poor women are there in India, you can use them. No, you have to show all these things. When you show all these things, then only you will get that that essentiality. If you meet the criteria of essentiality, then you will be eligible to that. But again, when it comes to the eligibility, the eligible conditions are, if his wife, the age, in order to get the benefit of this, the age of the wife should be 23 to 50 years to avail the service of surrogacy, and the age of the husband is 26 to 55 years. 26 to 55 years. So, husband is 26 to 55 years, wife is 23 to 50 years. 23 to 50 years. It's not 60, it's 50. So, 50 years. So, this is the this is the age that wife and husband should meet, then only they are eligible to get the benefit of surrogacy. Single women, single men, LGBT, homosexuals, unmarried couple, they are not allowed. Unmarried couple, homosexuals and single men and women, they are not allowed to get the benefit of this, but again there is an exemption for widows and divorced women only. Widows and divorced, anyway, widow means woman itself, divorced women, widow and divorced women. Single men, again we don't allow this practice because adoption rule says that a male member cannot adopt a girl child, and if in this process you get the girl child, then it has become a very big problem. That is why we haven't allowed. So, this is one aspect. Next, now when it comes to the surrogate mother, the one who is carrying the woman, the age of the woman should be 25 to 35 year old. The age of the surrogate mother or the one who is carrying the baby, 25 to 35 years. And surrogate only once in a lifetime. Only once in a lifetime. She cannot go on doing this practice. No, she can only do this practice once in a lifetime. And she must have a child, at least a child. Before this process started, before she started this surrogacy, she must have a child and she must belongs to 25 to 35 years. That means an unmarried woman cannot do this practice. A woman having a surviving child, age of 25 to 35 years, can go with surrogacy and she can do only once in her lifetime. And the medical and this psychological fitness is compulsory to involve in this process of surrogacy. That means she must be medically fit. Then only she can involve in this process of surrogacy. Then only they can involve in the process of surrogacy. Now, one more thing in this is, one condition is, no woman shall act as a surrogate mother by providing her own gametes. No woman shall act as a surrogate mother by providing her own gametes, because this is mother, this is father, they have some problem, and now this is another woman. Now the child of these people is growing in the womb of this woman. Suppose if the oocyte and the sperm cell from the parent they will take, and that embryo you will place it inside the womb. Suppose if this mother's oocyte is not perfect or some problem, then you need another oocyte or another egg. From where you will bring? You can take it from her, but it is prohibited under this. If you want, you can take it from the ART bank, and there with the donor of that particular thing you can sign, and with a written consent you can take that. You have to place it, because why actually they have mentioned this provision is, it is actually the egg of this woman, it is growing in the womb of this woman. Then if you say like this is belonging to this particular people, it is legally so problematic. If it is someone's egg, if it is someone's oocyte, and if she is carrying, then she cannot claim any right on that. But the egg is her own and she has grown in her body, and if you want to sell it to the somebody, or if you want to give it to the somebody, then you cannot call it as a surrogate, because it leads to multiple wrong things, because you can just conceive and sell it to somebody, on the name of surrogacy. So you can't do that. So that's the reason why they have prohibited this particular. So the one who surrogates, they cannot use her own egg for that surrogacy. That egg must be from others, and most probably it's parent, but if the parent's one is not okay, then you can take it from others. So this is one thing. Next, and one more thing, commissioning couple should not have a child, and even if they have a child, that mental criteria should not be there, and if that mental criteria is there, then they can go for the surrogacy. Now one more thing is, the informed consent again is important here. Informed consent. So what is this informed consent? Normally you have to take the consent from this woman, but you have to explain that surrogate mother to all the side effects, and you also explain the implications. That means though this baby is growing in your womb, she is no way, or that baby is no way belongs to you. All the legal rights of that baby who is growing in your womb belongs to these people. You don't have any right. And this baby, suppose they grown a baby in this womb, and now they have given to these parents, and this baby, let it name A, and this A is not at all belongs to you, this A belongs to this couple only. So with that implications you have to explain them, and with that information you have to take the consent, and consent of both the parties again important, and without consent you can't proceed. And one more thing is, okay, here the commissioned couple has got a child A, but after some years, because of the natural process, if they got, or if she got pregnancy, and if they are able to have a one more child, then this A is having an equal right with respect to the B. So you can't discriminate between A and B. That means a parent cannot discriminate a surrogate child and a biological child. And if you have a biological child, you cannot have a surrogate child. But if you have a surrogate child, and after that, though you have proved, you have given all the certificate of infertility and all, but if something happened in future, if you get the biological child, then the surrogate and biological child will have an equal right, and there is no relation between the surrogate mother and the child born out of this surrogacy process. And again, this registration, the registration process, this registration process is again important. Now there is a national registry. Now all these clinics must be registered. All these clinics must be registered. And now one more thing, this child, suppose if you don't have a B, that means you have a normal a child. Now this child will get the all the rights like a biological child. If they have a biological child, what all the legal rights that the child should have been get, that rights will be entitled to this surrogate child. That means the child is now literally like a biological child of male and female. So technically it's not a, the baby is not a biological child, but legally they will own all the rights. Again a registration process, clinics registered must be, registration must be done properly, proper supervision, proper monitoring should be there. Next, one more thing, when it comes to this penalties aspect, when it comes to this penalty aspect, and one more thing, who is this woman to donate? Actually initially they said like only close relative can do, but now not close relative, any willing woman can do. Any willing woman donate in the sense who involved in this surrogacy. So any willing woman can involve in this surrogacy process, provided that they must meet the criteria of age and also the criteria of that having at least one child. Okay. So any willing woman can involve in this surrogacy process. Now the some sort of penalties involved in this thing is advertising commercial surrogacy, advertising commercial surrogacy, and one more thing, all the clinics and doctors, the professionals, they are liable for the punishment both in ART and both in surrogacy. Okay. So that is why some people have opposed this bill, just saying how can you make the doctors as criminals. But we wanted to follow a practice, and if that practice is breached by anyone in this country, then they are liable under the law, whether he is a doctor or somebody. But anyhow, you can't advertise the commercial surrogacy. Commercial surrogacy is completely prohibited. Next, exploiting the surrogate mother. Exploit surrogate mother. That means you have to give proper medical and the prescribed compensation. You can't use it for more than one, and you have to undergo proper health checkup. She has to undergo proper health checkups. So these are all things should be there. So exploit surrogate mother is not acceptable. Next, one more thing, in ART also I mentioned, abandoning the surrogate child is something wrong. Abandoning or disowning, because once the baby has born, then the surrogate mother say no, she is not belongs to us, she belongs to them. And if they say no, we don't want to take, no, that means the abandoning or disowning, disowning of surrogate child is something a crime. And again, selling or importing or trading of the embryos and gametes are also become the illegal thing under this particular law. Again, there is a penalty and there is an imprisonment for violation of these type of rules and regulations, and if you are able to follow these things, then definitely you will be liable to punishment. So don't do these things like advertising the commercial surrogacy, exploiting the surrogate mother, disowning or abandoning the surrogated child, or selling or importing the human embryo or gametes. Okay. So that is something not acceptable. Now one more aspect is the board, because in I am explaining the ART, I mentioned about national board and state board. So this national board and state level board are constituted under this particular legislation called Surrogacy Regulation Act of 2021. That board we call it as National Assisted Reproductive Technology, National Assisted Reproductive Technology, that means National ART and Surrogacy Board, and Surrogacy Board. And at the state level also you are having a state ART and Surrogacy Board. The board which we were mentioned in the ART Act is the same board now we are discussing, but this board was created under this particular act of the Surrogacy Regulation Act. Now this board, I think in ART also I have mentioned, this board is having some sort of supervising power, regulatory power, it will prescribe certain standards, it will take the responsibility of implementation of both the ART Act and as well as the Surrogacy Act. So if any mischiefs happen, then they will take care about. And one more thing is, if any other boards are created under this particular legislation, they will take care about that. So this is a national level board, and under the supervision of the national level board, all the state level boards will work. They have to report it to the government, they have to maintain a comprehensive database. If something goes wrong, they have to report, like all these things. Okay, so that were there. Now under this board at the national level, the minister responsible for Ministry of Health and Family Welfare is the chairman to this board. Minister responsible for the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare is a chairman to this board, and the secretary dealing with this surrogacy aspect of the surrogacy department in the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare has become, the secretary will become in ex officio vice chairman to this, and even 3 women member of parliaments, either from Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, Next, the officers from Ministry of Women and Child Development, the Ministry of Law and Justice and the Ministry of Home Affairs, the officers belongs to these 3 ministries will also be the members of this particular board. And the Director General of Health Services, DG of Health Services at the central level, he is also a member of this. And apart from this, there are the central government will appoint some experts into this committee apart from these people. So the experts belongings to medical genetics or embryologist, so that means medical geneticist or embryologist, that means who have an idea about this embryology and also the genetics, and also the people who are involved in gynecology. So gynecologists, social scientists, that means who have an idea about the society, social scientists, women welfare organization, that means the NGOs who are working for the welfare of women, so they must be brought into this, and civil society organization working for the women. That means at least two members from these different categories, they must be included in the board. So this board will constitute, these type of boards constituted both at the national level and at the state level. You call it as National ART and the Surrogacy Board. Minister is at the national level, minister is the head of that particular committee or that particular board, and after that you are having some bureaucrats and as well as the subject experts are the people who are having some sort of experience in this. But once you looking into this assisted reproductive technology and surrogacy, definitely when the technology is evolving over a period of time, and if the technology is really helpful to the mankind, then we can take use of all these technologies. But the problem is you cannot misuse the technology, because as I already told, this is not something about a chemical lab or some physical experiment. This related to the life, so we have to be very careful. We should not allow any unethical practices like abandoning the children, abandoning the embryos, exploiting the poor women for the surrogate purposes, and wastage of embryo, because even for doing of scientific experiments also the embryo wastage is not at all acceptable, because we are wasting an embryo means we are wasting a life form. And at the same time you cannot exploit the woman to take more and more amount of oocytes from the woman. See, getting more and more sperm cell is a very easy process, but getting of the oocyte is very difficult, because in a month you will get only one oocyte, and if you inject the hormones and if you do that process, that is not acceptable under AIT. And under the surrogacy, yes, you cannot exploit the surrogate mother for commercial purpose. So that is why commercial surrogacy is not at all acceptable in our country, only altruistic. And I have mentioned some of the other aspects of this act also. But when it comes to the criticism on the both acts, criticism on both the acts is this. One is, okay, why we are not allowing a single men and LGBTQ to have this benefit of having a child, because we are saying like our adaptation rules don't permit. But the point is, yes, today at this point, that means in the year 2021 maybe we are discussing this, but at the present level of social value system, we may think like, okay, a single parent cannot have a child, because if he want he can marry, but no, because of some stigmas are associated with our society, that is the reason why we don't want a single man to have a child. And one thing, LGBTQs nowadays we have started recognizing them, we have started giving reservations, we have started issuing certificates and everything. Why can't they have? So that is one aspect of this law. So why can't the single men and as well as the LGBTQ, maybe during the course of process, if the society accepts these proposals and if the society really matured, reached to that maturity level, then definitely we can have the child to this single men and as well as the LGBTQ also. But this issue is still persistent and this particular legislation has not addressed that problem, so they cannot have under this. Second one is the role of professionals in regulating this act. That means we have a board, but this board mostly consisted of bureaucrats and politicians rather than professionals, but perhaps we need a more and more amount of professionals in the board, and unfortunately we are unable to induct more and more amount of professionals into the board, because if something happened, then the bureaucrats and politicians, they cannot identify, because these processes are technologically so complex processes, and if the clinics try to misuse these techniques, it cannot be find it out by a lay person. So definitely you need more and more professionals. That is another aspect. Third one is this infrastructure. So we are talking about this ART labs and IVF labs, and for both the case of surrogacy and ART technologies. But until and unless we have such a cold storage facilities, you can't create this ART bank, and you can't create this fertilization clinics. And if you, because you are saying like you have an ART bank, and from that bank only you have to take, and that fertilization process has to start there itself. You can't take these cells from here and you can't go somewhere. So there must be some sort of sophisticated laboratory system, because when private people are exploiting, when you think that private people are exploiting, definitely you can make a regulation, but a simple regulation, will it really solve the problem? So how long we can regulate, to what extent we can regulate, and how capable in regulating are we? So these are the questions. So the point is, lot of people are suggesting just by improving the infrastructural facilities in this country, as far as this ART and IVF techniques are concerned, or whatever the other techniques are concerned, why can't the government should start their own ART clinics, so that the poor people who cannot afford so much, they can get the benefit of this ART technology and as well as this surrogacy related things. So why can't a government start? If really government starts and if government maintains such a standards, then definitely private people will come in line, then we can regulate them. Moreover, if you start regulating the private people, yes, you can regulate to some extent, but in that regulation process it has become very difficult for the poor people to get the access to these type of new technologies. So one thing is related to the infrastructure that must be created for ART banks. Second one is this sector must be started providing services in public sector, so that the people can get a benefit out of that, So these are the three major challenges that are there for both ART and surrogacy. Just read surrogacy and ART in coordination, because initially we thought to bring only surrogacy bill, but later the question has arisen that okay, when we are discussing about surrogacy, then who are to regulate the other techniques apart from surrogacy in this reproduction process? Then we thought no, we need a parental act of assisted reproductive technology first, because surrogacy is one among the ART. So that is why we have brought first ART, and again we have passed the surrogacy. Law. So this is something related to the assisted reproductive technology and as well as the Surrogacy Regulation Act recently passed in the Parliament of India, and definitely you may get a question as a part of paper 3, in the mains. Just try to have an idea on this and what are the challenges and what are the advantages. Advantages in the sense, this is a technology, definitely it have an advantage, but the point is we wanted to reduce the misuse of this particular techniques or this particular technology. Okay, thank you.
Amrita IAS Academy.